it's a recent play that I got some insight in. So I want to talk about no PG business vehicle financing. Okay. So again, one of the advantages, of course, of putting a business vehicle under your name, you get to depreciate it over a certain amount of time. It's a business expense of the business. And then also too, you can pretty much, versus like having a vehicle in your personal name, it's not going to increase your DTI. So I want to give you guys the play on, so it's BMW Financial Services, right? The data points on how to get no PG business vehicle financing, right? This is something that I just recently became privy to. So pretty much they're going to be looking at Dun & Bradstreet to look to see what type of trade lines you have on your business credit report. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've been a critic of D&B because as some of you know, like it's been very like overly marketed, like, hey, build up your Paydex and go get a business loan or a line of credit, which, a lot of, I mean, Rad, you talk about this as well, like how the vendor credit doesn't unlock, traditional commercial loans and lines of credit, for the most part. That's kind of hyped up, right? But I will say, based off the data points I had a conversation with the finance manager at BMW the other day. And so he was basically telling me how they are able to give you no PG. There's a couple steps to it, right? So they look at what's called comparable credit, right? So pretty much what that means, let's say if you're trying to get a car that's, I don't know, 100 grand, let's just say, for example, they're going to look to see what type of previous, auto vehicle loans that you have, right? And usually if you don't have comparable credit, then you're going to have to do what's called a personal guarantee. So they're looking at your auto loan history, right? To determine, okay, because there's two different paths that you can go. So if you do have comparable credit, you can get business vehicle financing without having to do a personal guarantee. It's just going to be under the business, but you need that comparable credit. However, let's say you don't have comparable credit. Like recently, I didn't have comparable credit. And so pretty much what I had to do what's called a personal guarantee. So I'm just going to share kind of like the data points that they asked me for, right? So if you want to put a vehicle under your business and you don't have comparable credits, they're going to want to see and this doesn't have to be audited. This could just be like from your QuickBooks. So they're going to want to see a balance sheet, and a P&L, right? For the past 2 years.
Okay.
Now, some people might be wondering, like, okay, because one of the things is like, having to have a lot of paperwork. Sometimes that's like kind of discouraging, but what I will say is that I recommend any business owner just get set up with QuickBooks, right? Because once you get set up with QuickBooks, you can basically configure your account to where it's you could just download the reports as PDFs, and these are not audited. These are just just basic. So this scenario I'm giving you, if you don't have comparable credit, right, they're going to want to see a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement. And then that's pretty much it, right? They're not going to want to see your tax returns or anything like that. Just the past 2 years balance and profit and loss statement. And then they are going to require a personal guarantee. And so unfortunately, there's been a change in sort of like auto lending right now, because as a lot of we're in a recession. I mean, I don't care what the government says. We're in a recession right now. So they did a triple pull, right? A triple hard inquiry, right? All three. And again, these may not be like, okay, like, why are you telling me this? You got a PG, they're pulling off. I'm just giving you like the data points so you kind of know what to expect, right? So this is for if and let me just put a little caveat: if you do not have comparable credit, this is the route. This is the PG route. Okay. So let's say you go this route one time, right? You go, you buy a vehicle, you pay it off or whatever, or maybe you don't finish paying it off. So then when you go back the next time, you're going to have comparable credit. Okay. So then the next time, so on your second vehicle, you can get what's called 100% corporate liability or no PG. Okay. So in this case, they're not going to pull your credit at all. They're just going to look at your Dun and Bradstreet because according to them, they pull your DNB and they pull your personal credit. But on the business financing application, they ask you to enter in your DUNS number. Okay. So they're going to pull your credit, to see, okay, they're going to pull your DNB first to see, okay, do you have comparable credit? And then it's kind of like a decision like, okay, yes, you have comparable credit. You can go the corporate liability route, or you don't have comparable credit and you're going to have to go the PG route. That's just kind of how it worked. And then, so yeah, that's pretty much the play right there, in terms of if anyone's wants to kind of understand, if you're looking to get, let's say, a no PG, it's not just a matter of, let me just get Quill, Uline, Granger, get an 80 Paydex and then go there. No, they're going to want to see, okay, do you have comparable credit? And pretty much, that's basically it. And from then on out, you can go to different dealerships, outside of that, like, Porsche Financial Services, other places, and you're going to have the comparable credit. And so, yeah, that's pretty much a play. I just wanted to throw this one out there because this is like fresh in my mind. So just for anyone who...
Let me ask you this, Plug. So once you do this play, right? Like once you do the one thing when you're doing step one, and then you go for the second vehicle, 100% corporate liability, can you also do this with exotic vehicles as well? So like, can you get exotic vehicles with no PG doing this type of play?
Absolutely.
Can you break that down a little bit? Because that'd be super informative for people that want those, McLarens and them Lambos and Ferraris and stuff.
So let me add some context to this, right?
Okay.
So for those who know, I just bought a new BMW XM. It was like $160,000 or whatever. So you can get this example that I'm showing you as well. Also, the other condition is for vehicles over $100,000.
For over 100,000.
$100,000 plus.
Wow.
So you can potentially get for vehicles less than 100K. Let's say you want like a I don't know, like a M3 series or something like that. You can, I don't know why you would, because it's not over the weight threshold that you could depreciate it, but less than 100K, you can get no PG without the comparable credit.
Okay, that's key.
Okay. Without comparable credit. Now, again, you can get, like I said, you can get an exotic car with a PG. That's perfectly, that was my scenario because I didn't have comparable credit. I just had, high income and high personal credit. So it's not always so, but if you want like the high end vehicle with no personal guarantee, you're going to need comparable credit with a vehicle that you've paid off that's over 100 grand. Okay, so like with this scenario too, once you have that first vehicle that's like over 100K, that's when the banks are going to feel more comfortable because you've demonstrated sort of the that you have the capacity to pay off that type of vehicle. Now, pretty much my strategy with this, and again, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, but anyone who is like thinking about getting an exotic car soon, financing it, one thing you have to keep in mind is that like interest rates are much higher today than they were maybe a year, 2 years ago, right? So even if you have like a really good credit, you might be paying like 7% interest, maybe even more, maybe like 9%, depending on the vehicle. So what I would really say, if you're looking at that, I would look at it more as like a tax strategy play versus like trying to finance it, you know, because again, when you look at the overall like total finance charge, you know, it's a lot different paying 9% on a $30,000 car versus a $200,000 car. Like the finance charge, if you are to stretch it all the way out, it's going to add, you know, extra 50 grand to the car, or, you know, whatever, depending on how much it is. So that's just one thing. So like this right here, let me just highlight this right here. And again, this is with BMW Financial Services, right?
Okay.
So there's also, I also want to give you guys another play. Now, again, all these plays aren't easy type of plays. Like some of them, you do have to have certain credentials and qualifications.
Yeah.